everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Explore the Spectrum. I'm your host, Jeanetta, and we are joined with Tammy. Tammy, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for having me.
It's a joy to have you on the program, and I'd love for you to go ahead and introduce how you got involved in this community.
Well, I have two daughters, and the youngest, Morgan, was diagnosed with autism at age 3.5, and she'll be 30 in November.
So you've been at this for a minute, right?
Yeah, a long minute.
And, I find that it is so refreshing to talk to veterans. That's what I consider you. You're a veteran of figuring things out for your child for many years. And you started this and you started leaving breadcrumbs for the rest of us to follow. If it hadn't been for some of our trailblazing moms that came 30 years ago, we've been at it for 20 years or more, then we wouldn't have had the success rates that we have today. So you have a big heart for these kids and for these adults. What are some of the things that you focus in on working with them?
Um, I just, my heart is for everyone to see their ability, just what they're able to do. What I've seen the difference between my two daughters, one having a disability, the other not, is that um, a lot of times the same opportunities aren't offered to them because people's expectations may be less or lacking. And so my heart is to just let people see what they can do.
And sharing your story is, and it's one of those invaluable opportunities. So often our families feel isolated and you feel like it's just happening to me. It's just happening here within our walls. And you're not always invited to the different parties and you're not always able to go to some of the different events. And so hearing other family stories, I really do feel like that is uplifting and helpful, especially when you're able to parlay it with a little bit of encouragement. Now, you've also worked with your church family and helping them get more associated with helping the special needs community. What does that look like?
Well, like I said, it began because faith is just such an important part of what keeps our family knitted together. And when we realized that we just were not fitting in church, no matter how we tried, then I found, it's one of those things where when nobody's doing it, you've got to do it. You've got to pick up the ball. And so that's what gave me the heart to educate. And we are an open book. So we do that through blogs, through social media, whatever we can do to let you see our world and who our family is. I want people to be comfortable. I don't want them to be afraid because I think that's what stops us from learning. And so we share the good, the bad, and the ugly, all the awkward, and just letting them see who we are. And whether it's through humor, um, through the good times and the bad, that's what helps folks get to know each other. And we have the same, we want the same joy as everybody else. We want to be a part of that. And so will people make mistakes when they try to interact? Absolutely. And, and that's okay. We all get do-overs. Like I tell Morgan, we can always try again. So I hope that answers your question. Yeah.
Yeah, well, so I think it's funny that you said the good, the bad, and the ugly, because here at Abilities, we focus, our motto is the good, the bad, and the godly. And the two
Oh,
of
I
us, I
love
think,
it.
along the same thing. But the one thing I want to kind of help our audience understand is, so when you were working with your church and you were helping them kind of expand their role of how they could support your family, was that through curriculum? Is that something that you're willing to share with other families? How would someone learn about
Um,
that?
Well, when I say that, it's just always been I don't have any set curriculum. I did share a lot of the things I learned as a parent. Back then it was PECs, and I don't even know what you call it now, but the pictures and better ways of communicating with our children. And I sat down several times, with the children's ministry and different ones to say, our needs are a little different. We're not going to developmentally, we're not going to progress like the other kids, but we need a place to be and a place to fit and be included. And so it's back to just always being open with the church family. And if we're wanting them to do more, then they don't automatically know what we need. So it's about us getting honest and sitting down together. So I think more than anything, it's just that um, one-on-one communication.
So, from what I'm learning right now, talking to you, you've got so many valuable insights that you have documented through your blog and through your site. And folks can, kind of delve into that and find whatever it might be most applicable to them and their situation. Because I do know that there's an awful lot of families that are in similar boats to exactly what you experience. And they are looking for those grassroots opportunities and those organic ideas of saying, how can I spark something here? And so if they can learn
Mhm.
something like that through something you've already experienced, all the better. And, I've neglected to talk about the fact that you and your daughter do music and y'all do singing and you
Yeah.
have all these different songs and you're writing things. How can we learn about that? Do you have a website or is there a place that we can send our different audience to learn more?
Yes, yes. Okay. Yes, the website's tammyvice.com or knowthehope.com. That'll get you there. And we have a newsletter and blogs. And right now, for the first time, Morgan and I have been co running together for years, but for the first time, we put out a single called Go Away Rain. And if you look up Go Away Rain, Tammy Vice, it's on all the digital outlets, Spotify, Apple, and look it up. And the cover art is Morgan's. So Know the Hope is disability through the arts, disability awareness. And what you know, and I know, is that communication is so much more than words. And through the art and through the music, it's helped me communicate with Morgan and bring her out more. And we're in the past, when she was too little or not able to advocate for herself, I was doing a lot of that for her, whether it be in the church or out in the community. And now the joy of her being older is that she's able to advocate along with me. And so I bring her into the mix. And this song, you'll hear her banter in the beginning and the end of it. So it's as much about getting into her world, and communicating with her through that, and letting others see how that communication happens, and the perfection and the imperfection. Is that?
And I think that that's a beautiful place to be, when you're able to communicate without words, right? And so often that's our
Right.
frustration at the beginning of these journeys with our kids and not being able to be on the same page with them. But as the relationship continues to unfold and they have goals and they have gains, I should say, we not only see them come closer into our world, but we can appreciate things that we might not have been able to appreciate before. Thank you so much for joining
Absolutely.
us today. I am grateful for your time, but I'm really glad to be able to share your site with any of the different viewers and the folks that are paying attention to this now, because I think they can find a lot of great insights if they look you up for just a minute and enjoy the song at the same time. Thank you.
Thank you for all you do. I appreciate it.
And to our viewers, thank you for joining us as we continue to explore the possibilities.